Hello everybody, hope you guys are doing well, and in today's video we will be introducing the Polymarket trading bot. This is our latest initiative, and this one is a legitimate open source Polymarket trading bot on Base. We launched a token called PBOT, and it's an access token that allows you to utilize and use our platform. And we'll talk all about the different features of the platform that we have, including the sniper bots and all the back end. So let's get right to it. The first thing I want to talk about is our project launch. We just launched a couple hours ago, last night on Sunday, because Sunday is the best day to launch. And this is the main token for the platform. So talking about the platform, it is open source. So it's built by the Obelisk in the sense that we have the agents themselves. So this is the platform here. We have a dashboard with Bitcoin price. And so we have these deployment agents, which you could deploy automatic agents, and those agents are built via the Obelisk. So this is what's going on under the hood. And if you go to agents, you'll be able to see a couple of deployed agents on the Obelisk. We'll talk about exactly what each sniper agent does, but first I want to talk about why we chose the name and why we're doing this project. So first of all, Polymarket is extremely popular right now. A lot of hype around Polymarket. As you can see here, I have just some Google Trends data from Polymarket bot and just Polymarket in general, and there's a huge increase in search criteria for specifically Polymarket trading bots have been going viral on X. If you guys seen those around, also make sure to join our X community, Polymarket bot community. Polymarket VIP is our main X. So the idea is Polymarket arbitrage bots and all these tools are kind of going viral and people are searching for them. So that's why the name makes perfect sense, because we are a Polymarket trading bot on Base, and we're able to grab the domain, and we're going to do some content around this to try to get some eyes on our platform, because yeah, we have a really nice platform that's open for everyone to use, and depending on how deep you want to take it, you can even clone the repo. So speaking of the repo, Obelisk Core is the public repo we're working on, and as you can see here, we've added the Polymarket service. This is the one that handles all the transactions, the buying and the selling and the trading. As you can see, I have a couple of services here and routes specifically for trading. Allows you to open orders, authenticate with Polymarket, create orders, cancel orders. So we go into a little bit more detail in regards to the actual Polymarket service in our documentation for Polymarket bot. We do have some docs here for API reference. We don't technically have an API in this because this is running through agent deployments, but if you want to set this up locally, you can interact with the Polymarket service in this way. So the Polymarket service again is what kind of powers this workflow. Now we don't have this Polymarket service in here, but all these nodes, they connect to the Polymarket service via this URL, as you can see here. And so we'll go over this workflow. This is the current sniper, so you can start it on the Obelisk if you want to, but it's a lot better and you get a lot more details if you just run it through our dashboard, which I'll go over in just a minute. But from the Obelisk, you just start it, and so the way to look at this is 3 separate subgraphs. As you can see, each of these node graphs are completely isolated, so they're not touching each other, and that's by design. So think of it as 3 separate subgraphs. This first one is the HTTP server, which lets you access the stats. It all uses the same storage, so storage node gives you nice reads and writes that are thread safe, and this subgraph uses the storage node to read the Polymarket data which other nodes store, and it's just gives you an HTTP response for the stats, which our front end uses to show you guys the details of your sniper. Now the second flow here is a deterministic scheduler. This is a cool, nice new node we've added to the Obelisk to support this new workflow. What happens, it has an anchor, which is the time that kind of anchors to, which is in this case 00 or 05 or 10. It's deterministic, and we have the interval, which is 5 minutes. So this is synced with Polymarket time, and then we have an offset. So at which offset do you want this to fire? So this one is going to fire every 5 minutes, anchored to this time frame, with an offset of 60 seconds, which means it will fire at the beginning of each round. So if you go to our dashboard here, you can kind of see the current round is about 50 seconds left. So the offset will fire 60 seconds into the round. And the reason why we have it firing 60 seconds into the round is because this is when the sniper bot is not active. The sniper bot is, again, a late term sniper, so it's going to snipe towards the end of the round, whether 60 seconds towards the end, 90, whatever you decide. But the first half of each window, it's pretty inactive, so this is a good time to do some housekeeping, and this is exactly what this does. Essentially, it just tries to redeem any past orders you have, because the standard bot does not sell anything. It only buys when it detects a opportunity, which we'll talk about in a minute. But this one is the redeem path, which just redeems the orders. So you don't need to close them, because once you buy those shares, they either resolve to 0 or 1. And if you win, hopefully most of the time, then you will get your money back. So once it resolves these shares, once it redeems them, it's going to store it into the same storage that we have our other workflow access. And the reason why we didn't just reuse a single storage node is because the way our engine works is, if you keep each subgraph separate, then it allows it to run independently in a way, and just trigger based on each action. So this one is triggered by a post or a get request with the Express server. This is a deterministic scheduler, and this is just a simpler scheduler that fires every 10 seconds. Let's talk about this third workflow here. This is the main sniper logic. All it does is define a window, an actionable window. So this is a sniper evaluate. We're going to open this up so you guys can configure the actual window. I think right now it's set to 60 seconds, but this sniper evaluate will evaluate the edge. What it does essentially is it runs a model underneath. And so if you go to our model page here, it's running the DF model. So let me talk a little bit about these models. These are, let me refresh here. The way this works is we have market data, which is in yellow. If we hide the model surface, yep. All right, so these yellow dots is the market data. This is exactly what the market priced these probabilities at according to these axes. When we have the actual model surface is our own model that is trying to predict the market. As you can see, it fits really well. It's not perfect, there's quite a bit of outliers here, but with just a simple distance from the price to beat, it fits pretty well. And another thing, if you go to the model builder, and you notice it matches but doesn't match as well, but if you increase the sigma to about 0.5 or something like this, you'll notice it's all of a sudden a lot more slanted. It's a little bit hard to control, but as you can see, it fits a lot better. But doing our back tests, a much lower sigma gave us much better results. So anyway, we're using a DF model, which is the same axis like the distance, except it's momentum adjusted distance. So as you can see, it's a little bit different. The market is also a little bit more vertical, the shape is. And so again, what this is doing is just predicting the difference between the market and the model. Now we don't see the blue or yellow points right now, is because it's outside of our range. The market is so far outside our range that it's just not picking it up. Because when it's too far from price to beat, we don't even bother plotting it. We're only focusing on a certain range. So as you can see here, now we're within our range, and as you can see, the model is predicting a higher probability than the market, right? The market is saying 75%, the model is saying no, this is about 99%. So at this point, the sniper would buy. It would just buy whatever market price it has, whatever the market price currently is, which is a little bit low, about 70%, right? And it will just hold until closure, because the model predicts positively. So we can kind of even see where this will end up. So the current market, we have about 1 minute and 45 seconds left. So even though the price to beat doesn't seem like it's so far away from the current price, the model is predicting a very high probability that it will close above. So we got about a minute. As you can see, the price now is 90. The spread now is about 67%, 34%. So if you buy, right now, it resolves to 100% after a minute. It does pretty well. So this is the idea behind the sniper. Again, we're still testing everything, but we're allow you guys, you can deploy your own sniper. You do need to connect your wallet. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, and to deploy this, you will just need to put in a private key here. Yeah, put the private key you would like. You need to fill this private key with Polygon tokens and Polygon USDCE, because the sniper will use gas for redeeming the transaction. So this redeem path right here is going to use gas, Polygon, right? And then this buy path will use USDCE, which is Polygon's native USDC tokens. So that's just to be clear here. And in advanced settings, these will change. But right now, it's just the order that is going to make each time about $5 worth. This is the edge that is needed, the 0.15 edge. So if you look at the model, you can kind of adjust it here, Let's go back here. If you go to the model, the edge, it shows you here the edge of the model. So it's a absolute value of the edge. So even if it's negative, it's still fine, because a negative edge means it can buy lower and then try to wait for the price to come back here. So the original version we did without the sniper, it's a little bit more complicated, is we look for this divergence. As you can see, the model is predicting that it's going to close, down, but the market is still pretty 50-50, right? So according to this strategy, you would buy this shares at a pretty high price, and you would wait for it to come back down and make profit on that. You essentially shorted. But the problem is the price can change very quickly, and at any point the market can just go into positive probability and it will never go back down. So in our real strategy, we waited. The actionable window was kind of in the middle here. But as you can see, the GBM model itself is not as accurate as if you go to DF. It's also going to have this edge here. So we do need to work on the model a tiny bit here when it comes to the edge. But this is what the edge means. So this is a really high edge here. But we're just waiting towards the end, right? Because this is just using random motion. So this one is assuming that Bitcoin moves in a random price every time. Okay, this one just assumes that Bitcoin moves in a random price, and I mean obviously that's not true. We have some patterns, so it's not going to be always accurate, but usually within the middle of the window, it's going to have some pretty accurate results if the price still remains relatively close to the price to beat. So again, if you look at the dashboard, we're kind of within this range, but again, it flips back and forth a lot, but this is where you can kind of make some profits if you can scalp it back and forth. So that's kind of most things about the sniper bot. We're going to add a lot more details and documentation about how to use it, and we're still improving this. We want to add more logging, because right now there's not a lot of logs. When you deploy the sniper bot, you kind of have to watch the wallet to see what it's doing. But regardless, all you do is put the private key and you can hit deploy, and you will be able to see it in action. We're going to add a couple more options here. Specifically, we want to see when you want to start the actual sniper, so which window you want to snipe it at. By default, it's set to the last 60 seconds of each market, but it could be better maybe to even set it the last 100 seconds and wait for a really high edge. But yeah, that's the core idea. And if you guys want to try this out, we also have this trade panel, which allows you to buy and sell shares directly through Polymarket. This one goes through our API, but it works with Polymarket contracts directly. So this trade panel calls Polymarket contracts just through our API. We don't take any fees, and any buys and sells you make, all these trades, they are on Polymarket. We just show you guys this dashboard. And so if you go to my trades, once you do have some trades made, so if you ever get this issue here, you have to make sure to click this button, switch to Polygon. And once you switch here, again, you'll be able to make buy orders or sell orders, and this goes directly to Polygon contracts, and we don't take any fees. So this is a nice way to trade these markets if you want to just use our platform. Zero fees, and we're more than happy to provide a nice service. So I hope this covers most everything about the platform. As always, guys, please make sure to join our community and try to set up these sniper bots. We're still just polishing everything, but you should be able to deploy and run these sniper bots within the next few hours. Thank you so much for checking out this video. I hope you guys can run some profitable sniping bots, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!